The teacher tells you your child is doing well. They are engaged in class, no concerns, no behavior issues. The child you are raising at home, the one who falls apart getting off the bus, who cries over homework that should take 15 minutes, who has complete emotional meltdowns by 6 o'clock every evening, who is exhausted in a way that doesn't make sense for how much they have slept. That child is apparently invisible at school. And you're starting to wonder if you are the problem, if you're doing something at home that school somehow isn't doing, or if you are imagining the whole thing. I want to tell you, you're not imagining it. And there is a clinical explanation for exactly this pattern. What you are describing is masking, specifically a child who has learned, consciously or not, that school requires performance, that the environment at school has expectations, rules, social consequences, and very specific definition of acceptable behavior, and that their natural neurological state doesn't match those expectations. So they adapt. They work extremely hard to appear to meet them. They monitor other children. They mirror. They suppress the impulse that wants to come out. They hold in the overwhelm. They manage every sensory input, every social interaction, every moment of uncertainty, and they maintain that performance for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. And then they get in the car and the performance ends. The after school window is where I hear about it most. The child who seemed fine at pickup, quiet, maybe a bit withdrawn, but fine, who decompresses somewhere between the school parking lot and the front door and arrives home as a completely different person, crying over nothing, screaming over a snack that wasn't the right shape, refusing to do anything, or doing everything aggressively, or shutting down entirely and going to their room and not coming out. Parents describe it as a switch flipping. That switch is the mask coming off. The child has used everything they had to hold it together all day, and there is nothing left. The reason the teacher doesn't see it is not because the teacher is wrong or because the child is fine. It's because the masking is working. The child's performance is good enough that the school environment doesn't register distress. The teacher sees engagement, compliance, social participation. They don't see the cost of generating those things. They don't see what it takes. And so their report, your child is doing fine, no concern from our end, is entirely accurate from inside the school, and also entirely incomplete as a picture of what is happening to that child. The children who mask most effectively are often the ones who need support most urgently. Because the children who can't mask, the ones who melt down in class, who refuse to comply, who are visibly struggling, those children get flagged. They get assessed. They get support. The ones who hold it together, who fly under the radar, who are described as quiet or well behaved or just a little anxious, they are often waiting years longer for someone to look beneath the surface. And in the meantime, the cost of maintaining the performance accumulates in their mental health, in their self-concept, in their relationship with school, and learning and being around other people. I want to speak directly to the parent who has raised these concerns and been told not to worry, who brought the home behaviors to the teacher and was told they don't see it, who took their child to the family doctor and was told it sounds like anxiety, maybe therapy will help, who has been sitting on a knowing that something is going on and has not been believed by the systems around them. Your instinct is data. The fact that your child holds it together in one environment and falls apart in another is not proof that nothing is wrong. It is evidence of exactly how hard they are working to hold it together. That deserves to be taken seriously. Clinically, assessing a child who masks requires looking across environments, not just school reports, but parent observations, the child's own report where that's possible, functional history across setting. As a nurse practitioner, I assess the full neurodevelopmental picture: ADHD, autism spectrum, anxiety, sensory processing, developmental profile. And I take parent report seriously as clinical data. I can assess from a young age through adolescence and into adulthood. And I am looking at the whole child, how they function across contexts, what the gap between environments tells us, and what support would actually address the underlying picture rather than just the visible surface. An assessment for masking child isn't a search for a label. It's often a profound relief for the child who finally has an explanation for why everything is so hard, and for the parent who has been watching their child struggle and not knowing how to help. If your child is fine at school and falling apart at home, if you have been told not to worry and you can't stop worrying, if you know in your gut that something is being missed, trust that. Find someone who will look at the full picture, not just the report card. If you are in Ottawa, Toronto, or anywhere in Ontario, visit child.crocuscare.ca to learn more about pediatric neurodevelopmental assessment at Crocus Care. That's child.crocuscare.ca. This video is educational content, not clinical advice for your specific child. But what I described today is real, it's documented, and it's accessible. You don't have to keep waiting. I'll see you in the next one.